Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by McLeod Chapman. That's what we're going to talk about today. Holy crap, that book is wild. To be honest, like getting into it at first, it was a little rough for me because I don't know if you guys have any family members who have gone down the rabbit hole of, Fox News or Newsmax or ORN or any of those, disinformation networks is what I'm going to call them because they are, and have family who are just, unrecognizable from maybe what they used to be to you. This book might just be for you. It's a horror book. Some of the themes in it are definitely nonfiction themes, but it goes like off the rails. And it is a great book. I flew through, I almost read it all in one day, but I had to go to bed. It was like 4:30 in the morning. I couldn't keep going. I only had like 20 pages left, so I almost read it in a day. Once I got into it, I couldn't stop. It's like a train wreck and you just can't look away. So follows this character Noah. Noah keeps getting calls from his mom, who's like, "The Great Awakening is coming, it's coming," and she's yelling about all the talking points of all that crap. I don't probably need to reiterate it, but his mom has gotten sucked into the vortex, and at some point he gets kind of worried and he starts calling her and she's not answering her phone because she had started leaving messages about this great reawakening and to wake up and all that. And then it got like more and more intense. She would call and leave all these messages and all these messages, and it was getting pretty bad. And he's like, "Do I need to go down there and like help them? I don't really know." And so since they don't answer the phone, he gets worried and he's like, "God, what if they're dead? What if a gas leak happened? Someone broke in and hurt them. Someone had a heart attack. I don't know." So he's 6 hours away. He's in New York City. They're down in West Virginia, and so he goes there and he's knocking on the door. His dad's car is home and no answer, but the door is unlocked. So he tries to open it, but there's something in the way, and eventually he pushes it open. There's like a big cabinet or some sort of big piece of furniture in front of the door, like they barricaded it in. There's no lights on, but like every TV in the house is on. It's all on Fax News because it's just the facts and it's called Fax News, and that's obviously we all know what that's referring to. So that's just like echoing, and there's just like the light from the TVs in all the rooms. But he's like, "Hello, mom, dad, anyone here?" It is the day that is supposed to be the great awakening or whatever, the wake up and open your eyes. So eventually he finds his parents like weird zombies. There's some really disturbing stuff that happens. There's a scene with the mom. I'm not gonna do like spoilers, but it was so disturbing and so cringy. I was almost like, I don't know if I can finish reading this book. I can't handle this. But then I got through it. And then there's some funny parts too. And then there's you're like some very upsetting parts, and you're like, God, I see this. I've seen this in what has happened to people that I've known, and yeah. So it's pretty horrifying, and it's great though. It's perfect for the times we're living in, that's for sure. So it's in the synopsis when the supposed time with the Great Awakening happens with like so Fax News is on and they're like doing the countdown of all this is supposed to happen, and like his parents won't listen to him. They haven't eaten. Oh yeah, so there's food rotting all around the house. Everything's disarray. All the light bulbs have been busted. Like everything's all jacked up. His parents have lost a ton of weight. They look haggard and horrible and like decrepit, and they just like won't listen to him. He orders them some food. He tries to get them to eat. They won't fricking eat. He keeps trying to turn off the TV. The TV turns back on. He even like unplugs it and the TV turns back up. So what the F? Demons! All right, so to get them to stop watching the TV, he like breaks the TV. And then his mother attacks him. But then she does other stuff too that's effed up. And I was like, that's when I was like, oh, Clay, why? Hey, it's horror. I've read some messed up stuff and this is pretty messed up. I don't want to give spoilers for it because I'll let that pleasure be yours should you choose to read it. But it is fast paced, and after his parents attack him, he has to like get the heck out of Dodge. But it's not just his parents, this is going on everywhere. So he has a brother too. His brother Asher, his brother's wife, and they have two kids. You flash over to them and how they got like sucked into this whole rabbit hole of all this stuff too, because they're in that same mind state of like Fax News zombie people. You see like what led them down the rabbit hole and how they got all like just basically brainwashed and what happened to them. And the only person in the family that didn't was the youngest kid because he wasn't allowed to have a tablet or a screen. He was like 7. His name was Marcus. And his family just like at some point he just starts hiding from them because I think his mom like didn't necessarily try to kill him, but at one point I thought she was gonna eat him. So we got that going on. Like stuff just gets super weird. It had a little bit of the vibes of like if you read the duology by Keith Rossen, like the whole fever house thing, when these people get all like effed up, it's like a house of fever and ruin. They just attack people indiscriminately. They're on the streets just humping each other, but then they're like eating their fingers off, and it's super effed up and scary. And so eventually, because Noah, like the expressways are all blocked, crap has hit the fan, everyone's gone crazy, and he's like, okay, so the closest place he can try to get to is, he's gonna go see if his brother's family is there. So he gets there. The dad and the son, they're gone. They're not even there. But the youngest, he is still, and so is his mother. And she is a piece of work, that is for sure. So eventually, he gets in there. He gets and runs into the kid. Sees the kid is not like lost his effing mind, so he takes him with them. And they're going to try to walk home to New York City. So, how the heck are they going to make it with all these zombie, horrible people out there? Will they survive? I like the way it was written because I couldn't put it down. On top of like getting Noah's story, seeing what happened to the parents, seeing what happened to like his brother's family and how they spiraled down this rabbit hole, then you also get once the world's gone crazy, all these different little vignettes from like people's YouTube channels, stuff that people filmed and saw that was happening during this, and like all the stuff about like how the Fox News was like had the gaslights and basically would like not even really tell a news story. They would just give out anger points for people to be angry about so that they would just become addicted to this. Like it was almost like a drug. And then it's like, so what is this? Was this like a weird brainwashing thing through like the airwaves or through the TV or through the screens? Because it wasn't just that, it would be like other stuff. Like the wife kind of got brainwashed from watching like yoga influencers and whatnot. And eventually, like the people think like the people on the screens are like talking directly to them and this, that, and the other. And like it feeds into like the whole thing where when people don't feel validated or that they matter, when these like evil, horrible presences are giving them attention, when they haven't had that attention before, it's so easy for them to just get sucked into that. And like that's the most disturbing part because it's freaking true. So how do we fight against that? What do we do? I don't know. But this book is pretty eye opening. Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by McLeod Chapman. It is a horror for right effing now. And I would highly recommend it if you're a fan. McLeod Chapman. The next video coming up will be about another McLeod Chapman book. So stick around, check it out. And if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.